Ladies and gentlemen, it's Blair Conley here, Director of International Admissions for Keyin College. And it is my pleasure today. I have two wonderful recent Keyin graduates, Jessica Noseworthy, who graduated with a BM designation, and Lindsay Chafe, who graduated with an OA designation. So, Jessica, Lindsay, we want to thank you for being here. On behalf of everyone at Keyin, the faculty and staff, I want to thank you for your time and for giving us your time today. So thank you very much for being here.
No problem. Thank you for having
me. Oh no, my God, it's our pleasure. So what we wanted to do is get two recent Keyin graduates and kind of walk through your experience with Keyin and kind of focus on a pre-COVID, post-COVID world, both from an education experience and now in a work experience or a remote work experience, as it were. So we've got some questions we wanted to go through, kind of bounce around from Jessica to Lindsay, and feel free to jump in at any point in time. So where I guess I wanted to start with is originally when you were looking at educational options. If I could, why did you choose Keyin for your education? And maybe I'll start with you, Jessica, if that's okay.
Sure. So originally I had actually applied to Kona. Their wait list was exponentially long. So it was really long, and there was no, I had chosen Keyin at the end of it because they were, as soon as I called, Shannon was immediately like, yes, come on in, come and grab an application. We work with funding because I was looking for funding at the time. I wanted to start school when my youngest son was starting school.
Oh, okay.
Because I had been a stay-at-home mom up until that point, and my goal was raise my babies at home as long as I can, but as soon as they're out in school, I need to get my education, and that was just a personal goal for myself. Right. And Keyin just happened to align with those dates and times that allowed me to do that and pursue that goal of mine.
I love that, and that it has in fact worked out quite well for you, as I understand. Oh, that's beautiful. So we're delighted to be part of that and for your kids. So thanks so much. That's awesome. How about yourself, Lindsay? When you looked at Keyin versus some other options, what ultimately made you or kind of brought you to the decision to choose Keyin?
Well, mine also goes back to my children. So my kids were really young.
Right.
I decided I wanted to go back to school, and I waitressed for 10 years, and I loved people. I'm a people person. So I reached out to Facebook and a couple of mom groups, and I just said, guys, like, I want to go back to school. I'm looking at office administration. Does anybody have any, schools that they have attended or, could tell me about? A lot of good feedback came back about Keyin. I got to say, I can't speak specifically about the office administration program, but about different programs and just the school in general. Again, back to Shannon, when I called and I wanted to come in, she'd come on in for an interview. I sat in her office. I felt like I knew Shannon my whole life within 5 minutes.
Right.
I left there and I said, I'm going to this school. I want to go to this school. And the atmosphere when I walked in, now this was the old building, but it was just, when you walked in the building, you found a sense of almost felt like home, family. You knew it was small, you knew it was oriented, and even from the front desk when you walked in, it was just helpful the whole way down.
Oh, I love that. And having spent some time in both locations, that's something that we've always tried to portray, and it's something that the DNA of the school and everyone that's in there is, we try to make it as if it's a family.
Yeah, and like I said, that was felt from the very beginning, like from the moment I stepped into those doors.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. That's a great feedback. So my next question is, so having gone to school, graduated, you're now into the work. So if you look back at your original expectations, so why you chose the school, how did your original expectations line up with how it actually went for you? Maybe Jessica, if you want to feel that.
Sure. So I didn't have any expectations. This was all a personal thing for me. I didn't know what to expect from the school. I honestly didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself. I kind of felt like, to be honest, like I was almost like a fraud for myself to be going back to school after so long and not knowing what to expect in post-secondary education or an institute. So they exceeded my expectations especially when we went online, because there was no beats skipped. Nothing in our program got delayed, nothing in our program put us behind. So we were able to continue and graduate on time. Actually, I technically graduated early.
Right.
So they exceeded my expectations because my expectations were solely based on if I was going to survive it myself.
Right. Awesome. How about yourself, Lindsay? You kind of compare your original expectations to how it all went for you, and now that you're graduated.
I really don't know what my expectations were going in. Again, personal goals. Again, they exceeded anything that I could ever imagined. The personal relationships between peers that I made in Keyin, the relationships between instructors that I still carry on to this day, even graduated 2 years later, that I still talk to instructors I've had. The help, the care. You walk in at school, you have any issue. I had an issue with my home laptop, talking to Craig about it, all of a sudden, bring it in, get it fixed. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not just, and the learning, like I use Keyin Learning. Heather Tucker is in my voice every single day. She's a wonderful teacher, and same with Miss Q, like the teachers I had. But I use their skills, and I think
My
about
formatting will always be top notch.
Perfect. Well, there's people here, and they come to me. There's people that have worked in this industry, and there's a woman that she's lovely, and she's been up front for 25 years. She comes to me now to help her format her documents, to do her Excel spreadsheets, to help her learn how to do anything with computers. She comes to me.
Right.
And I think I owe that to the instructors. They had prepared us for this workforce more than I ever could have imagined they could have. You walk in here, Miss Q, I still push my chair in when I get up every day and leave my desk. My chair goes in, and I make sure my workspace is tidy for the next morning when I come in. And I didn't think that would make a huge difference when she used to teach us that. And I'd be like, oh my God, really? Come on. But no, when you do that and you come in the morning and your office is a nice space, it makes a huge difference to your day.
Let's pivot a little bit. And what I wanted to maybe focus on next is the transition that happened, obviously, from an in-class learning experience to almost a fully online experience, and then a bit of a hybrid position. And Lindsay and Jessica both had different experiences. Jessica going through it from a longer perspective, Lindsay kind of coming at it towards the end. But maybe I'll start with you, Lindsay. If
my experience with this is definitely going to be a little less than what hers
is. A little shorter, but more kind of abrupt. So, and in fact, we're on the 2-year anniversary, I believe, today. Almost right, 1 day less of when kind of the world stopped and in class came to a grinding halt, and we went to a virtual. And I can tell you a little about behind the scenes how crazy that was. But I'd love to get your perspective and from your lens how that felt and how you coped.
I think it was actually 2 years ago today, and we went in and we were just about to start. I think it was like we were excited. We were pumped because we were on our last 2 or 3 courses. We were done. We were finished. This is great. This is our last semester. And I remember walking in, we were all decked out in our green. We were happy. And, we all stopped there by Krista's desk, again, in the old building, Miss Q's office. And our worlds just kind of crashed around us. I'm even starting to get emotional. I don't know why. I just remember that feeling in that day. And we didn't know what was going to happen with us. We knew that we were about to graduate, and all of a sudden everything we worked so hard for, it was up in the air. We had no idea. I have to say that Keyin swooped in, and again, expectations exceeded, because within weeks, I don't even remember the time frame, but I remember it was short, and we were online and we were learning and we were getting our last 2 courses in, and the panic that had surrounded us kind of just fogged away. And everyone seemed to feel the same way, I think, because like I said, it was only small 4 of us, so we were very close. 5 of us, 4 of us, and everyone just kind of got in the groove. Now, it was a little bit difficult to get used to it, like my kids were home, everybody was home, so it was kind of like, oh my God, how do I do this? Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. Props to Mrs. Q too, because she was one of my last teachers, and that woman, how she transitioned was wonderful. I got to say, I think Craig stepped in and helped a lot of people with that. Like, again, Ian stepped up to that point, and any fears that we had were pretty quickly eliminated, because everything was going smoothly, and we were told, hey, this is all going to happen. And like I said, I was on my last 2 courses. I think it was I don't even remember what they were anymore. But
it's really nice to hear, and I'll get to you in a second, Jessica, but just to jump in from our perspective, I remember it vividly, and it was we had roughly a year planned for transition. a digital transformation plan, and that plan had to get accelerated to 2 weeks, which from behind the scenes was incredibly stressful. But everybody, from everybody pulled together, did what they had to do, and to the students' benefit, within, I think it was maybe 12, 14 days, it was deployed, it was rolled out, and to the greatest extent, we tried, certainly. It was life as normal, or as normal as we could make it. So it was equally stressful on both sides.
You guys did an amazing job.
Oh, well, it wasn't me. It was the whole team.
The team. The team did
Yes, I give massive credit. And how about yourself, Jessica? How did it feel to you? Because you transitioned, and then you were with that program a little longer than Lindsay was. So
yeah, I finished my program online after. So it's funny actually. So the Wednesday. So I remember we got the official announcement that that everything was in lockdown as of the 15th of March. I had actually, a week prior to that, pulled my boys out of school because of the pandemic and how it was affecting other parts of Canada. And I had emailed Jen and this admin and other staff at school, and had let them know, I have 2 immunocompromised kids, 2 of which have had respiratory issues. My oldest son was already on a ventilator as a baby. My youngest son was on oxygen for 9 weeks. They didn't know at the time, right now it was all, pre-existing conditions, childhood asthma. So these things hit really close to home because my kids had respiratory issues.
Right.
So I had actually pulled them out of school a week before everybody shut down. And Jen assured me, she said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. And it makes me emotional too, because, you have to choose between whether or not you can follow your own personal goal or take care of your family and keep them safe. Right. So that was really tough. Obviously I would have always put my kids ahead of anything for myself, of that I had set for myself as a personal goal. But
of course. Yeah.
I was really grateful that Jen had helped and made sure that no matter what, I was going to be good, because not only my attendance mattered with the school, but it mattered in order for me to continue getting the funding that I needed.
Right.
And the allowance and stuff that I needed for school. And if you don't complete a program while you're funded, you have to pay that amount back. And there was a lot of other stress factors there, right? But yeah, no, they were really good. She assured me no matter what that, I was going to get through this. And then we got the announcement that they were going online, which was a relief for me at that time, because I was like, okay, it's not just me not going to be attending my courses. So they're going to have to figure this out. So I guess I was feeling more relieved than, say, Lindsay was at that time, because she was just, she was ready to go back to school. I had already been staying home with the boys at this point. So for me, I was like, okay, there's a plan. They're going to do something. They're going to help us get through this. We're good. And then I was just ready to hop on and help in any way I can to make sure that online was going to work.
Yeah. I agree, which was kind of leading into my next question. Is a great segue. Is so the transition from the Keyin world, which was largely an online world towards the end of your programs for both of you, into now the world of virtual work. How do you feel it's helped you make that transition? Because again, the world's changed dramatically, education and from a work perspective, and you've had that opportunity to go from a virtual education experience to a virtual work experience. So can you talk to me a little about that, and if the experience in Keyin, how it's assisted or if it's helped you move into the world of virtual work?
For me, there's a lot of virtual meetings here because, like I said, I'm not sure how big Jessica's company is. Eastern Health is huge, so
Right.
And especially now with the COVID and everything, we had to be coincided with not just Eastern Health. There was Western Health. There's Labrador Grenfell. There was Central,
Right.
everything. So I think the virtual portion had helped so much, to be honest, because you're not trying. You had everybody at your fingertips, and like I said, I didn't have much experience. I was only a couple months with the online learning at Keyin. But it did teach you the ropes. It taught me how to use Teams. It taught me how to do these programs. It taught me how to upload my documents to here so that if I'm here in St. John's, that this person in Labrador who's also doing a vaccine can see what I put up for them. I know you can do that through email and stuff, but through Teams, it just felt so much easier. Like the organization through COVID clinics and how we organized it, basically it was organized through Teams.
Right.
There's a huge team with all of the like the vaccines or, the nurses that were organizing it. And a lot of them came to myself and the other office administration people to help them upload these documents, to help them find these documents. So we played a big part, and we were really very knowledgeable when we going in, rather than being like, okay, well, this is how it is, and having training sessions and wasting time doing weeks and weeks of training sessions.
Right.
Okay, when they always ask, do you know how to use Teams? Yes, I know how to do it all. So I didn't have to waste. I was right in there able to help.
So the barrier and any kind of fear of the unknown is kind of maybe knocked down considerably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear. How about
Because there
yourself,
was people here that were still, they didn't want to go because, again, they didn't know what this was. How do we use this? How do we do this? I don't want to do this because I've never done it before. The fear of change, I guess. People don't like change.
No, most don't. But those who embrace it, tend to do very well in this world. Yeah. And Jessica, with your experience in Rothloxton, how do you feel Keyin has helped you?
Well, the good thing about I absolutely love everything to do with being online. I am a social introvert, so I get along great with people. I'm social, I can talk, I can have great conversations, but the fact that I can click a button and say adios and be in my own privacy, my own time is fantastic. And I love that part of it. So I'll utilize any aspect of online or remote work that I can. Teams made a significant impact on navigating the workforce because it wasn't something that we were really using a whole lot of. It was implemented at Rothloxton. It was something that some people used and some people didn't. But over Christmas and like beginning of New Year, when things kind of got, cases started going up again, we noticed the need for Teams. And I was able to speak to my manager and let her know about like all of the really cool things that you can do with Teams just from like a teacher student perspective. And I'm like, there's definitely a corporate version of this that can be utilized for us. Is like we can make a team for the HR department, for the finance department, accounts payables, for site staff. Like we can make this so easy for everyone to keep connected and communicate while we're working from home. That was a huge thing for me. Another one was when I first had my interviews. My husband was going through some health issues at the time, and I was able to do all of my interviews via Zoom. I didn't have to rush out of the house or leave my kids when my husband wasn't feeling well. I was able to do everything directly from my computer. So from the perspective of a mom with no family here besides my husband and his father, it's made me be able to become successful in my industry and continue to add to that. So I'm now doing online courses through the Gardner Center that, I'm grateful my work is paying for, things like that. Like these are all online, and now I'm doing this interview, but I'm also working. Like for a multitasker, being online is ideal.
Love it. So it just feels the online component of Keyin, as crazy as it was in its early days, I think has largely rolled out quite well and has positioned our students for success in the workforce, which is so nice to hear.
It's realistic for what the workforce is today.
Especially for a new world.
Yeah, especially if you're doing a business management course or office admin, you need to understand that hybrid structure. You need to understand the intricacies of doing online remote work because at any time that could happen. And now people, instead of rushing into trying to figure out what they're going to do, they're already prepared. It's easy to just pop over online. You have your stuff set up at home and you're not missing, the business isn't suffering.
Right. If anything, it's advancing. It's accelerating.
There's no more snow days.
No, that's right. I know it's a bad thing for people who
Let's just
like
say
to throw.
productivity levels have gone up. There's like your kids are sick,
Yeah.
you can stay home and work, you know?
I agree. I agree. So I love it. So I think I love that kind of covering the online component, and really it's great for us to hear that those lessons and those life lessons are being applied in the real world, which is wonderful. So here's the fun part. So I wanted to take a few minutes and ask you about some maybe your favorite memories at Keyin. Maybe talk about an instructor, support staff, anything that sticks out in your mind as great experiences or what you remember the most about your Keyin experience. And Lindsay or Jessica, whoever wishes to go first.
Go first, Lindsay.
Um, oh my God, I can't pinpoint one good memory. I had so many. I really had so many. I walked into that building and office administration again. Like I said, it was a small course.
Hmm.
We've got very close very quick. I Christmas, breakfast, brunches, Craig as Santa Claus,
Right.
Mrs. Q as Mrs. Claus. All the things that you guys did put, like the team of Keyin put off for us, the cakes, the birthdays, oh my goodness. I loved my experience with Keyin. What I loved most was the acceptance of me. When I came in, I have a child. I have more than one child, I have three, but
Right.
my middle child has a disability and a rare condition, which forced me to miss a bit of school for Janeway appointments or to travel to Montreal Shriners Hospital
Yeah.
for weeks and stuff. And like, I was funded. Very, very nervous about those things and having to ask for the time off to go because I know, the time is everything there.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to band together to help me get where I needed to be. I didn't miss a beat. I was able to keep up with stuff while I was away on hospital appointments. A lot of people emphasized with me when I needed fundraising for my daughter to go do certain things. Keyin banded together and helped me with that. There was a tin out front that everybody donated and took. I'm gonna get emotional again. I just can't say enough about it. Everything. The school is absolutely amazing. The activities, the instructors, every instructor I had, um, not only turned into an instructor, has turned into a friend who I have kept contact with outside of this. Like I said, I've been graduated almost 2 years now,
Yeah.
and I still speak to almost every single one of them.
Oh, that's
It
that's
might not be it
wonderful.
might not be on a regular basis, but there's
Yeah.
always a drop line to say, hey, how you doing? How are things? And not even just the instructors, admin staff, Shannon, Terry, Krista, uh, Craig. I built relationships with these people that went far beyond student and instructor. It went to these people are like a little family to me, and they're always looking out. Like if I post just for say on Facebook a picture of my daughter or
Right.
something that I'm going through,
Yeah.
I'll guarantee get at least either comments from instructors or messages. How you doing? How are things going? Do you need any help? Like how, they're always looking to see how I'm progressing in life. And that's something I don't think you would find in other places. I really don't.
No, I don't think you do, and it's something that we really pride ourselves on as an institution. Is to there's you're not a number. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a narrative. Everyone brings something different to the table, and if we can support that, obviously the education is table stakes and it's world class. But if we can do little things to help every student get through in their own way and feel
And I
appreciated,
think
and yeah.
my absolute favorite memory was, again, we finished at the time that everything kind of just went
Right.
haywire. And, we knew we were supposed to have a graduation and we were pretty upset because we didn't know, oh my God, how
Right.
are we going to do this? Like, we put all of our work into these couple of years and we worked our butts off and we don't even get to have a graduation. Like, what's going to happen? And Keyin pulled together and I forget the name of the place there. Jack Byrne Arena is where we were.
Jack Byrne Arena, right?
Yeah.
Did the outside
Yeah.
graduation, yeah.
And my favorite moment was to stand on that stage as a valedictorian after working my bum off for such a long time and stand there with my head up on top of my head and look out at all of those people that stood there with their smile. I can still see them with the smiles on their faces looking at me. Hey, you did it. All the
Well,
things, obstacles that you faced, you did it, and here you are. And the smiles that were on the faces weren't just a smile. They were beaming with pride. They were proud of where they brought us. And I know we worked there ourselves, but they instilled so much in us to get to where we were, and they were proud of us for getting there.
they were, and Lindsay, we can't see your face right now, but I can feel your smile coming through
Yep.
your image on
Because I
Keyin.
can picture it. I can
Congratulations.
literally picture it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's wonderful. How about yourself, Jessica?
We had, a very short experience in person, but we were able to make a lot of connections. We had we threw together a baby shower. Actually, Lindsay
Yes,
helped with that too. We threw together a baby shower for one of my classmates that was in my program who was having twins in the beginning
Right.
of his program. Um, we had a fundraiser that we also did for another classmate of ours whose husband was also a Keyin graduate as well from, can't remember the program he did. It was the social working one.
CYCW maybe.
CYCW, that's what it is. So we did a fundraiser for that, and like no matter what we did at Keyin, I found that you had your instructors, and I think Lindsay and I are on the same page with who those instructors were, the ones that, wanted you to do good. They wanted you to, put that effort in. And when you put that effort in, they recognized it. And those connections are things that I'll never forget. And some of the teachers that I thought that I wouldn't even enjoy throughout the program
Right.
ended up being my favorite.
I'm laughing because
And
I think I remember conversation. I know who she's talking, and she loves them now.
and ended up being like my biggest cheerleader. And, you know, initially I was like, I can't do this.
But they
um,
stuck with you, and they
they
made
see
sure you
your
were successful.
effort. If
Yeah.
you're trying, if you're
Mhm.
putting in your best effort, it's recognized. They're not going to hand it to you. They're not
No.
going to hand you your education. They're not going to hand you good grades, but they'll recognize the effort that you're putting in. And that's what was important to me. Um, Another good memory of that, I could actually send you a picture. So there was 9 of us that originally started in the BM HRM 114 group. We were struggling the first term, so much to the point that we created a Facebook Messenger group to try and help and keep everybody on task. We
Mhm.
had Google Docs. We were always in, communication, making sure we were all like getting through this 6-course, 8-week term. It was intense. We were so BMHRM 114. We actually nicknamed our group Barely Managing, class of 2021. We'd have
Right.
sweaters to prove our little like group. We took a picture. We took a group picture after the first term so that we could commemorate that memory. 5 of us ended up graduating the program, but like it's something that you're always like, I go for that sweater all the time. I was half debating on wearing it today, but I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna wear a sweater, I should probably wear Roth Loxton. So I'll just go with something generic.
Well, make sure and send me that picture
Yeah, I
after
will.
the call for sure.
Yeah, I will for sure. So that was a good memory, and like that's something like now to this day, like we still have a messenger group, and it's barely managing. We
Right.
We have a
managed, we
messenger as
got
well.
through it. Yeah, we managed, we got through it. But at the time, it was really nice to make those connections with people that were on the same page as you, and like a lot of us we had all different types of walks of life. Like we were not in the same situations at all, but we were
Right.
so supportive of each other, and we felt that support reciprocated by majority of Keyin staff.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, and that's really what it's all about. The education again is critical, but it's all those other pieces that round it out that typically matter as much or more. So it's
Oh
really
my
nice
gosh,
to hear.
it's
Yeah.
motivational. It keeps you going
Yeah.
when things are so tough, right?
Yeah. Love it. And so we're probably a little over time, which is wonderful, which is a testament to your story. So I
There's
thank
so
you for
many
that.
good things about
I
Keyin.
know, I know. So my last question for both of you would be this: so if a new potential Keyin student was looking at this video, and you had any advice or any recommendations to give them about the school, about their decision to choose Keyin or choose another school, what would that be?
I would take the plunge into Keyin. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be times that you want to pull your hair out. You're probably going to cry. You may think you're
Right.
not getting the help that you need or want. But I think there's a difference in help, and what was instilled in us was they were preparing us for what was to come. There's not always
Right.
going to be someone next to you telling you what to do or how to do it properly. But just dive in. These Keyin instructors, Keyin staff, everybody there is there to help,
Right.
and get in there, get dirty, get it done, and you at the end of it, you'll be smiling like the two of us, because I can see Jessica's face. I know she can't see mine, but I'm
Right.
proud of where I went. I'm proud of where I came, and I'm proud of where I am.
So nice to hear. And Jessica.
I would say make connections with your peers, make connections with people in other courses, be someone that people can approach, ask for help. If you need help and guidance, it's there. Don't
Right.
be too proud to ask for help.
Mhm.
You know, everybody's human. Things were all over the place when we first went into the pandemic. But the intention behind there was always to do the right thing for Keyin staff and students. The intention behind everything is always been a positive thing. It's always been for the greater good of the students at Keyin and for the staff. So even though things got messy sometimes or unorganized or frustrating because of given the circumstances, you knew that the intention there was to get you through it. And just knowing that you had that emotional support and that you were able to reach out, or that new students coming in, I really tried to reach out to them too, and being like, hey, if say if one of the administrators couldn't answer a question on the Facebook page, I would just be like, quickly, here's where you go, here's what you do,
Jump right
this is what you do, no problem, don't worry about it. And like, a lot of people are like, well, that's not your job, that's so and so's job, they should be doing that. And I'm like, but we're a family. Like, this is everybody's future.
I feel like my
And
mentality towards that is the same as yours, because I did very similar things.
yeah. And you know what, Lindsay, you were a big inspiration in that. I gotta say right away, like, you were. And when I first started at Keyin, like, I seen how you kind of like held everyone together in your group, and I tried really hard to kind of mimic that same
Oh,
type of. I did. Like, I thought you were absolutely amazing. Such a strong mother, such a strong student. And like, I absolutely commend you for going back to school after, the years of struggle that you had. And like, I kept that in my head, and it kept me going through too. Like, it motivated me to make sure that I did this as well.
thank you.
So I gotta say thank you too to you.
You're gonna make me cry again.
Well, I can say this. So I know we're not on an International Women's Day, but I believe we're still in International Women's Week. So on behalf of everyone at Keyin, this has been amazing. I mean, just to hear your stories, your personal stories, your willingness to share stories about Keyin, your classmates, the staff, the support staff is wonderful to hear. I would agree with everything you said. We really, really do try to go the extra mile for all of our students and make sure they feel cared and comforted and protected, and just give them every chance of success as they move into the real world of virtual work as it is. And it is so nice to see you both being so successful in your careers and so quick, from the time of graduation to this point in your careers. And so we wish you nothing but success. This has been wonderful. I really, really appreciate your time. And I assure you, this video for any future Keyin student will be very helpful, very helpful, and help them guide them and make their decision. So on that note, again, on behalf of everyone at Keyin, I want to thank you for your time and sharing, and it's just been wonderful. Any last comments? Any final comments before we go?
I love Keyin.
Nice.
I think it's a great thing to be a part of. I still feel like I'm a part of it, and I think Lindsay does too. So just knowing, that I could always reach out to Jen or Krista at any given moment for anything. It feels good. It feels good to have, that Keyin family